Hello guys. Today I'm here sitting on this bench around my office. My office is in that building. The lighting can show you too much, but I have recorded a video where I was in the balcony the other day without the mic. It was raining. I didn't want to go outside. Can't you see that it's just raining? We ain't no need to go outside. This is something I want to do. I don't know if Jack Johnson has already stopped performing live shows, concerts, but I really like to do one of these before I die. Hopefully, meet our Lord, but it would be fun. But yesterday and today in the early hours, it has rained. I don't know if you can listen to the birds. Everything when rains is better. The climate gets smoother. That hot weather temperature soothes out, gets better, and you guys hear this one? And it really, it's good for meditation. Something that I have to go back to. It was my fault to stop. I was getting better. I remember when I went to Carmel in the US, the city right after San Francisco. Very beautiful city. And then after Pebble Beach, those beautiful homes through the Pacific Ocean. One of the most beautiful places I have ever been so far. And I was this with this friend. I was beginning doing jiu-jitsu, and then he just challenged me because he was stronger and I wasn't that skilled. Not that I am Andre Galvão right now or Roger Gracie or something, but I have improved. And today, as I talk today, March 16th, 2015, I'm a brown belt. I could have been already a first black belt degree, but I had to stop to open those loose ends that I'm closing with little friction right now, because as Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger says, you can never do a good business with bad people, ever, especially in Brazil. Especially now, our minimum wage for monthly, it's like 1,000 is like 1,675 Brazilian pesos, which was roughly $275 for per month. Can you guys believe it? And like roughly 67% of the population earns about two minimum wages, which is roughly that. When I was a lawyer working for M&A private firm, I earned three minimum wages back in the day, back in 2014 and 15, after my first biotech venture here in Brazil that should have gone. The other day, I'll explain better why the guys, like, they are literally like Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos, just the same, crazy. And so roughly, as a lawyer in Brazil, you like around 275 times three, around three 900 minus 75, $825 a month for being a lawyer, for selling your soul to write M&A papers, to sell others people companies, right? You don't go to the gym, you don't have a life, you eat whatever you can. It's like 24/7, 24 20, like non-stop, 24/7, as we say here. Work kind of job, so your mental health goes to the air. You don't have a social life. Your spouse abandons you. The fake ones, right? Blessed is the man who can and really really find a good woman. It's really really hard, really really difficult. But blessed is he who can have this blessing from the Lord, because the more and more I grow concerned, it's the only possibility. There is no other to being graced upon a good wife. Because today, if you're going to try to find her at the bar or whatever, it's just going to be flesh and carnal, and it's not going to last. And stuff as you are is going to cause you some psychological damage. It's inevitable. You can't ever think it isn't, because it is, it is. And so the rain, the birds, even though I'm a largely moderated residential, slightly urbanized area. I live in the countryside here in Brazil. It's Ribeirão Preto. Ribeirão Preto. They used to call it. I think I already told you. Life sciences. Sugar energetic region. But the rain invites us to calm down and to design better plans and better goals, to refocus, to be thankful, to be really thankful. I began doing that. Writing the journal helps us a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, because mainly we are thankful in a selfish way. Let me try to give an example. Whenever someone is like confessing with us, mostly our times in our head, we are just judging and think, oh, that's good that doesn't happen to me, and that's good that I didn't do that. How stupid, how this and that, which is a completely waste of time and obnoxious thing to do, because you're not better than someone. You're not worth even his shoes. You are not superior. And as a friend used to say, like, after the lion is dead, everyone wants to take the picture with, so kind of like that. And I think it's hard not to do. And I've was reflecting about that, about the comparison, which is another part of the hard spectrum of doing that. Is like when you are aiming to someone who already climbed the mountain or anything. You have to take care to compare, and not to feel worthless in a while, or somehow. So that's why it's good to journal writing within your own life and thoughts. Not because someone, I'm grateful because this motherfucker or this poor guy, because either is like that. Either you are a sarcastic person, which our humor rewards, but at what cost? Just to the soul, right? It's funny. I wasn't like that, but then you begin to train. The media It's like this. Most of the uh, movies, comic shows, stand up uses a lot of sarcasm, but to what extent? Things that nobody tells you. Is it good for your soul, for your own being? And that is the fine tuning I'm trying to achieve, or not to achieve, but to aim for, or not to forget, or not trying to be better than somebody else is trying to be better than me. It's not hard because I'm not that good, right? But it's hard to do the hard things. Our brains entering the automatic status just to save energy. Even when you're wrong and a pool of mud and shit. It's funny. I think that's the devil. I think that's the devil. Who knows? They say that one of the things of the evil is that they make you believe that they don't exist, and so that's why most of atheists, agnostic people, including myself, even though I was baptized, I was beginning to empower myself. All those guys did that. Oh, I can now. Is this and that, but who knows what this person going through, what kind of hell psychologically they have faced. Do you really wanted to be in their shoes? The stress, the lonely nights. I know you have to pay the price, right? But which price? At what cost? Really, at what cost? Because in the end, sometimes it's like Lennon said when the teacher asked him when he was a infant in the classroom, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And he said, "I want to be happy." And then she says, "You did understand the point when I was one." And then he said, "Yeah, but you didn't understand life." So that's really a good thing here, not to be hedonistic, cars just to show off, and not for the pleasure of the driving, which in another mean is an adrenaline shot, right? If you plan drive for the pleasure, it's dopamine rush, not the dopamine rush for others to look at you and say, "Oh, you have a big dick. Oh, he's a womanizer," and so forth. After all, those are inner acceptance, self acceptance things throughout the group, the peer group. It's just like a herd effect. If you want to be loved by people who I don't know, who maybe have never loved you or never loved you back, or are just there circumstantially for just that moment. To yesterday, I was reading audio listening because I was working. Now I pretend to read. Read changes everything. I think audio is good when you multitask. Is something that it's my terrible mistake. But I I had to do everything on my own right now. And but reading is much more deeply within our souls, right? So the rain, I think it might close us down to the earth, to what really matters, right? And if you have something that money can buy, it's not really happiness, right? You can buy a party, but you can buy friends. And there is that Harvard study that became a TEDx speaking, the most happy lives. I try to put up on the description that video. I think it's what makes a better life, something like that. They did a Harvard study from like 100 years old and said what makes a good life, and in the end, it's good relationships. But I'll try to fix down the link when I'm posting. And so hopefully, basically that is we basically that's it for us to getting back into the ground, rethink and reframing, reevaluate what really matters. I think is to be with good people after all, which is kind of hard to do, but no hardship, no value, right? It's really fair that it costs us a lot. What's really has a lot of worth within it. So basically, that's it. Tell me what you guys think. If you agree, have been through that, something like that, and listen. And we see you next time.